Good evening. I am Kamau Kujichagulia, and this is On the Case with Kamau Kujichagulia, where each week we bring you a special personage from the Trenton, Mercer County, New Jersey, United States, world arena who is doing something or is planning to do something. Now they have done things that are so great and powerful for this community. So we want to bring them to you. Let me bring in my co-host, Michael Harmon. Hello, Michael.
What's up, Pop? How are you?
I'm pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing good myself. Finally got over COVID.
I don't know what you're doing with COVID this time. Hey, hey, but I guess that's the way it goes, huh?
Yeah, man.
Good. I guess I haven't seen you in a couple of weeks, so that's good. Good. You know? What else is going on in your life?
My nephew's graduating tomorrow.
Ah, very good. If he's
not
your
my-
nephew, must be my grandson, huh?
Your grandson, yes. Xavier.
Very good. Very good.
Going into the 9th grade.
Well, that's a good thing, I guess.
Right?
I guess. He's
My
young.
son just graduated too. Messiah.
Yeah? Really?
Yes. He's
From
going
what?
into from kindergarten. He's going into the 1st grade.
Very good. You get some pictures of that?
Yeah, I did. I got a couple. Messiah.
There he
Love the
goes.
name.
There he goes. That's great. Good to hear. Tonight we have Annette Lartigue, who's a very powerful personage in the Trenton area. You know, I wanted to, I keep looking at, this is a big world, and we are only seeing a very small portion of it. But there's I've traveled a lot. I've seen a lot of places, but not really. And I go to YouTube now, and I go all around the world, and people are doing some tremendous things all around the world, man. That
Yes,
we don't know anything about here in America,
Right.
And that they're doing everyday things to them. Just like here, we're doing everyday things to us. But it's a tremendous amount of stuff going on. I'm looking at the, America, the system, the white supremacy has been supreme for many, many years. But there are systems in place now that are challenging it from different directions. The BRICS, what do you call it? The BRICS. I don't know what you call it. Anyway, it's a
Group of countries.
Yes.
Different countries in the world that are coming together to create a new financial dynasty, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about a dynasty, but at least an alternative to the American dollar, which has been supreme for many years now, And America, of course, doesn't like it, but America has been a horrible leader, a horrible person horrible country to depend on for many years. But and BRICS stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa.
South Africa, okay.
So and I heard about that. When I first heard about that was back in the 90s. I said, good.
In the 90s?
In the 90s. That's when they first got together. But now they're beginning to step out on their own, So I'm happy about that. I'm happy.
Creating their own currency.
Yeah, or at least considering making it. They haven't quite taken that step yet, but I hope they do.
That's why the United States killed Gaddafi.
Well, yeah, that's just why the United States has killed so many people.
Yeah.
Not just currency. It's just that they wanted to, or should I say, we wanted to be dominant. We wanted to be supreme. You know, we wanted to be the supremacist of the world, and that's not cool shit. Yeah, we should be working together. Yeah, that's why I think we have so much trouble on a local level, because on a national, international level, we see that we're big bully, and and we're not trying to work together with the rest of the country. We're there to enforce what we want them to do. You know,
force everybody to buy things or trade with the dollar.
Yeah. You know,
Yep.
so I'm happy that kind of that the world is opening up and saying, nah, man, nah. You know, there's more to it than war.
Right.
You know,
and there's more countries in it than just African countries. You know, so go ahead and kill Putin over their new currency. So
you know that whole war in Ukraine, that could have been prevented. You know, Putin kept telling them, man, you know, what was the rap song? You something. I don't forget. Champ MC. I know I remember her, but I don't remember you. Anyway,
Putin kept saying you're getting a little bit too close.
Hey,
a little too close.
You know,
back off.
Let me breathe. Let me breathe.
I told you're not supposed to be here.
Right.
You know, when we made the agreement, you agreed you wouldn't be here.
In that rap song, she said, "Don't go effing with somebody who ain't effing with you, because you might eff with the wrong person who will eff you up."
Right.
You know? So I think, and the United States keeps getting into these wars and getting smacked, and then we go away with our tail hanging down between our legs. And dude yesterday was saying, how long is it going to be before America walks away from Ukraine? You know, we always walk away eventually. You know, but we find out that people are fighting for their homes.
No.
So I hope we change, man. I just hope we change instead of being forced to change. You know,
exactly.
Just act right. That's all I'm interested in. Because
these people up here don't know nothing about change.
These
people don't know nothing about change.
Nah, they ain't gonna change. Anyway, let's get closer to home. Let's see what Annette got to say.
The change in Trenton politics.
Hello, my sister.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going pretty good.
How are you, Ms. Lartigue?
I am well.
Good.
I am well, thank you.
We have Annette Lartigue. My goodness gracious. Great woman of Trenton.
Yes, and before we jump into local, let's look back for a minute at national.
Okay.
News. I heard the discussion that you guys were having relative to the BRIC, if you will, and Ukraine. And at some point, I'd like to do another podcast with you guys and have that discussion. Not tonight, but another time, because we might not necessarily be on the same page, but we're headed in the same direction with respect to some of the stuff that you shared about. I'm a political science major.
Okay.
I went to school for political science, and I believe in what could happen if, Michael, as you suggested, we understood change and the need for it. We don't. We've been groomed so well. And white supremacy does exist. It never went anywhere. It went behind the door because there were so many laws put in place in an attempt to change things and turn them around. But again, that's a conversation for another day.
Yes.
You want to talk about local politics?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, first, I want you to tell people. Now, you said you're a political science major. That was back when you were in school, I presume, right?
That was my Bachelor of Arts degree.
Okay.
And then, I concentrated, in law, and I have a master's in administrative science, which is administration. And those two degrees go hand in hand if you are to understand and navigate the system. You have to understand the politics, and you have to understand administrative practices, for lack of a better term. Because until you get that game, you can have everything else and nothing else is going to matter.
Okay. Okay. Now, you're from Trenton?
I'm born and raised in Trenton. I made my bones in North Trenton. I am a girl from the brick, from the neighborhood. And I'm really Martin Luther King Boulevard.
Okay.
900 block. I'm really, really proud of that because I'm an example, just one of many, of what can happen when you want something different and you're willing to work for it. On my podcast last night, one of the things I spoke about was we have, our children running rampant in the streets, throwing bricks at the penitentiary. Imagine if they took that skill that they used to throw bricks and built a business, built a corporation, took control of our neighborhoods that no longer belong to us. They belong to everybody but us. Who owns your neighborhood? Who owns the bodega, the liquor stores, the laundromats, the hair salons, the barbershops?
People from outside of the community.
That's right. They don't live here. They don't look like us, and they take our money and take it back, right? And typically when Black folks are in business, we always want a deal from them. The same deal we wouldn't ask the Chinese store for. The same deal, and this is not racism or bigotry. This is a fact. The same deal we won't ask folks who don't look like us but control our community every day with money and dollars. Let me ask you a question. And look, for those who are listening, feel free to pull up. Tell me why the Dominicans, have you ever been to the Dominican Republic?
No.
Pull up now.
I went once. I'll never go back again.
Start over again because you cut out there for a minute.
The Dominican Republic. I went once.
Okay.
I'll never return.
Right.
Why is
and
that?
I'll never return because of the way they treat the Haitians, who are their next door neighbors, who look like me.
You about to start something.
I'm ready for it. I like good trouble.
I like good trouble. It's not trouble.
I like good trouble. Yeah. Because we take all of our dollars over to the Dominican. The Dominican looks like a war-torn country, except for the resorts, right? And so we go over there and invest all of our money over there. And they wouldn't. You ever seen a Black person working in a Dominican store? I'm going to sip my tea while you answer that.
Nah, I never have. I never have. And
you never will.
I noticed that too.
You never will.
I noticed that.
As we run to the Dominican to spend our dollars, they don't hire one of us anywhere at any time. You find me one. That's a challenge to anybody who might pick up on this podcast later. Find me a Black person or two, if you can, who's working in any Dominican business. Anyway.
Yeah.
Find them.
Yeah.
They're colored and don't know it, but that's another story.
Yeah, they just
the point
Black
is
as we are.
We go over there and we take our money there. If you're going to take your money somewhere, take it to Haiti, take it to Jamaica, take it to South Africa, take it to wherever. But stop giving our money to people who wouldn't hire us and who wouldn't piss on us if we were on fire.
Right.
Yeah. I look at that from the different angle on that island. I always go to Haiti.
Mm-hmm.
From being in Haiti, I hear from the Haitians how the Dominicans treat them. So
you can see it.
I was never interested in. I said I don't want to go there. You treat my brothers and sisters like that. I don't want to be bothered.
That's right. They block their trade. They lock them out of fair trade. Okay, and they act as if they're not neighbors. And we'll go to the Dominican. This is for my brothers and sisters of color. I said you can pull up anytime you want, now or later in the comments. You have a right to go wherever you choose, but don't run around here ranting and raving about power to the people when you don't even know what that means. You want to power the people, start supporting your own people. How about that?
That's right. That's very, very true. But now I don't want to put the Dominicans on the hook and not, let the others off the hook, like America and France and Canada, which is also beating the hell out of Haiti, in many other ways.
And that is true. The only difference in that is you can go to these countries and see Black folks working in their establishments. They won't even hire us to work for them.
I'm not going to any white country. Basically, I just have no desire to go to a white country. I know white people. I know.
Me neither.
I know the system of white supremacy, and it's worldwide. It is. Whether you go to Dominica or whether you go to Nigeria or China, white supremacy is still white supremacy. But
I referenced the Dominicans, sir, because they monopolize our neighborhoods.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they do.
Where's the money coming from?
Hey. So that's good. I'm glad to hear that.
So back to local politics.
Now you were on city council, right?
I was on city council. I served as the Westward council member for 12 years and the vice president for 1 or 2, I think.
You also ran for mayor, right?
Ran for mayor. Yep. I didn't really understand the game when I ran for mayor, if that makes sense.
What's the game?
And the game is the people in Trenton don't control who gets elected to mayor.
Okay. Who controls it?
People who spend the money.
Well, money talk. Money always talk. And what is it? You didn't have those people at your beck and call?
At my beck and call? I would hope not.
Mm-hmm.
I would hope not.
Why is that?
Would I hope? Because then I'm on the hook to answer their beck and call. So I'd hoped, in my mind, after having, served on city council, not a perfect council member, but a very good one who has receipts about accomplishments sitting in that seat. Receipts. I also have receipts to show that I had a failed project. That project was the Hermitage Avenue Shopping Center. It failed miserably. But I had some seniors who insisted that shopping center be put there. And when I ran for office, one of the things I committed to, and I remain committed to today in any position in which I serve, was to take the people's voice to City Hall. And the neighborhood, the Hermitage Avenue area, Edgewood, there was no shopping center and they wanted one. So we tried again and it failed. And it failed because it's in a pocket. And even the people who lived there once I built it, spent tons of money, made tremendous deals that should have never been made to get it done. People who lived in that area wouldn't shop there. They still went to ShopRite. So that was a lesson for me.
Why?
That was a lesson for me.
Well,
you know,
when things happen, when you leave a job, you have an exit review to find out what happened. What did you find out about why that didn't work?
It didn't work for a number of reasons. Number one, that small area, that small store was not able to provide at the magnitude and cost that ShopRite did. So, for example, if a loaf of bread was 59 cents at ShopRite, it was 89 cents at that store, because the volume drives cost. I think that's simple enough, right? Volume drives cost. And ShopRite, being a conglomerate that it is, a corporation that it is, they're able to offer at a lower price.
Because they're serving a larger community.
They're serving a larger community, and not just there in Ewing, but across the country. So cost is driven by volume. No matter how you cut it, it's the volume that drives the cost of a product. And that was a hard lesson for me, because I was hell-bent on meeting the needs of that community. And in all my research, and I went everywhere begging folks to come in to do the shopping center there. And we finally got somebody on the hook, and they were not able to sustain it, because even for things that were affordable, the community did not support the shopping center. The community that wanted it didn't support it. Now, I'll tell you what did work: Hill Refrigeration. The Magic Market site has had some ups and downs. You know, it rebounds, it drops, it rebounds, and it drops, because homeownership is a big deal in the city, where the cost of homeownership costs money. Got to pay taxes.
What do you mean, Hill Refrigeration?
Hill Refrigeration was a plant. We renovated that into apartments.
Right. Okay.
It has succeeded.
Right. All right.
The shopping center on Pennington Avenue has succeeded.
All right. So what was the difference between that shopping center and the one in Hermitage? What did they both start? They started about the same time, didn't they?
They did.
Okay.
They did. The shopping center on Pennington is on a main line. It's real simple.
There you go.
It's on a main line.
All right.
And it's connected to other things: the YMCA, hair stores, a hair salon, a nail salon, all of the things that were not at Hermitage.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a lesson. The senior citizen center that we built over there is also thriving. The
the towers over there by
the Y.
Okay.
By the Y, and that shopping center, they're still going strong.
Okay. Now that was your endeavor. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was looking at that just the other day. You know, it seems to be a very nice place. You know, I know.
Very nice place. Great place for seniors.
All right.
It's not Trenton Housing Authority seniors.
All right.
It's
because there's a big difference between Trenton Housing
Authority
and places like that. You know, big difference.
Understanding fairly that housing authority is governed by the government, by HUD. They manage, the people working at housing authority are working under the rules and regulations of HUD.
So wait, are you saying that the rules and regulations of HUD force them to have substandard housing for people?
I'm not suggesting that at all. And I
Okay.
don't want to mix the message.
Okay.
What I'm telling you clearly and succinctly, without reservation, is that public housing is managed by HUD. The funding that subsidizes that housing comes from HUD. This is the same situation in the city, if you will. The city has a structural deficit. Structural. Not a budgeting problem, not a mismanagement problem, so to speak. And I'm not suggesting that there hasn't been some timelines of mismanagement. There has been. That's not the issue with the city, as it's not for HUD. It's the money that comes down to support those venues. That's important. Most people blow past that. They don't understand that. So, for example, HUD is subsidized housing, right? Somebody may be living in HUD paying $12 a month rent. The subsidy to supplement that townhouse, because they have townhouses, or apartment comes from HUD. HUD's money, if you remember, was not only cut but almost decimated in the last administration prior to with 45 being Trump. And so when you look at the monies that come into a project, you understand how that project can or cannot work. I believe with my limited education, I simply have a bachelor's and a master's. I don't have a doctorate. But I believe that HUD needs to be completely restructured from the top down to the public housing authorities. And I believe that anybody who goes into public housing must first have to go through what it means to maintain an apartment and to live safe and clean. That's not always the case. If you visit some of these places, they're spotless. Those are the people who get it. But you have a whole nother bunch of people who don't get it. They don't get it. And you visit their apartments and you would be afraid to walk into them because they're filthy. So I think with a lot of training and a lot of support, some of these $12 a month rents can learn how to maintain their living conditions in a safe and equitable manner. That's not HUD's problem.
Right. So
that's the
let me ask you this.
Living in HUD.
The place that I guess is privately owned, the other one over by the Y?
Yes. Yes.
Are they trained differently, or they get more money, or what?
The ability to maintain those apartments are a little bit different.
How so?
The same as they would be at any other private development that's a corporation. The owner maintains it because it's in his best interest to maintain it. When you have a property like HUD, and you have places like Newark and Jersey City, and Jersey City's cleaning up their act, and other places where there are high rises, there's towers. Look at Kingsbury. Kingsbury was privately owned and continued to be subsidized by the government. Right? You see the difference? You see what Kingsbury looks like?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Right. That's right. And then you go over,
owned, right?
The Gershon Group. Put that name out there, the Gershon Group.
They're the owners of Kingsbury. Gershon
Absolutely.
Group.
The Gershon Group.
So why they do such a horrible job?
They did such a horrible job because the vast majority of the people living in Kingsbury are low income.
Okay. So, they
So
have the same
if
incentive to keep their place up well, just like, one on Prospect, because they're
why
private.
would they? Why would they when they're being subsidized by the government? Why would they? The city's getting ready to give them money. Why would they
So
keep their
what?
property
They're
up,
going to be
keep their
subsidized even
elevators working,
more?
keep their places clean, a laundry room that works for their clients, the customer who lives there, because they're customers, residents, right? Why would they when Coochie, if you own the place, right? And you didn't have to upkeep it, but every time it fell down and you got violations, somebody came in to rescue you.
So no one is held accountable for the monies that they get from HUD or from the city. They don't hold these people accountable.
The board of directors should have held them accountable.
Should.
They should have.
Yeah,
Should
but
have.
they don't. Well, no, I'm talking about if the city gives them money, doesn't the city have to hold them accountable for the money that they give them?
They have a board. Although I recognize that Kingsbury residents need to be rescued, I wouldn't rescue the Gershon Group. They better be glad I'm not on council. I would not rescue the Gershon Group. I would invest that money in building housing immediately to accommodate, just as we built the place over across from the Hill Refrigeration.
Right.
Take some of these factories, open them up, clean them up, build. That's what I would invest the money in. I'd ask the residents to hold on for a minute. I'd invest
They've
in
been
building
holding on
in
for
that.
30, 40 years.
Yeah, well, listen, here's where they
50
are.
years.
Here's where they are. But a people without representation. Now, let's get to that. We're talking about, and I know we're jumping, but let's get to that. Representation. We're not represented because we don't vote. And as long as we don't vote, I'm talking about as a whole, we don't have a voice. So if there's 1,000 people in the neighborhood and 300 of them are voting, that neighborhood doesn't have a voice. Politicians, elected officials listen to volume, numbers, and money. They don't believe, as a matter of fact, it's not that they don't believe, they already know that in communities like ours, we have 85,000 residents. I think we have, I forget the number of registered voters off the top of my head. But let's just throw some numbers out here. They're not accurate. It's just for example. We have 85,000 people in the city. We have 45,000 registered to vote.
That's close.
Okay? It's somewhere in there, but it's not the exact number.
No.
But just as an example, and 10,000 of them come out to vote, why is anybody listening to Trenton?
7,000.
I
Well,
want
wait a
to be
minute.
generous, Michael. Help me out here.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Even if 10,000 people come out to vote, they put a West Ward council person in, an East Ward council person in, and so on and so forth. These people still receive the votes they need to get in. So they are representing.
The local, so let's talk about local, county, and state, and national, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything flows from national.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not voting for Congress people or representatives in the House and the Senate, and you continue to put people in office who don't bring you back any food to eat, you get what your hand calls for.
Okay.
I said y'all can pull up later if you want to in the comments. I'm sure they'll have me back to respond to them.
Mm-hmm.
If you elect people at the state level who aren't bringing you anything to eat, you're going to be hungry. All that good talk is good talk. Here's what I want to know. At the county level, right? When you take a look around at what's happened in Hamilton and Robbinsville and Ewing Township and all those other places, they're blooming. Trenton is not. Why? And see, I'm just giving you some food for thought here. Why?
No, I don't want no food for thought. Tell us why.
Simply because you're not voting. And they don't have anything to be concerned about because you don't have enough of a voice to actually make a difference. When you have 45,000 registered voters, I said 10, Mike said 7. We're going to split the baby. I'm being generous. You have to vote. If you're running around here talking about power to the people, I want to see my people do well. I'm not voting because it doesn't make a difference. You go somewhere and sit down because you're part of the problem.
You have to have a median household income also. And
you can be poor and vote,
important.
Michael.
You can be poor and vote,
poor and vote.
You pay a
You
lot
can
less
have
taxes, which
low
means a lot less
income.
money comes into your community.
You can have low income and still vote because you're sending the message to the elected official that I hear you, I see you, I'm listening, and this is what my community needs. People are running around with reparations, talking about, give us our money. Yeah, okay. But you know what I want? I don't mind a little money. I like money too, right? But you know what I'd like to see? Quality health care, quality education, quality housing, quality neighborhoods, quality streets, police officers who are able to police and manage without beating up and killing folks because they think that that's the answer to it. Not locking us up. I want to get rid of jails for profit. When you talk about reparations and repaying us, this is where I want to see it. I want to see it across the board. We get a couple dollars out of it, cool. I want to see better things for us, for me and my people. Listen, the difference in healthcare is astronomical when it comes to our communities and others. I want to see a community that votes and holds people accountable for the vote. And they say, you know what? Okay, we elected you, but guess what? We're going to unelect you next election because you didn't listen. You didn't hear us. You didn't provide policy that worked for us. You didn't do anything to provide grant. Everybody wants a job. You better go get a contract for the toilet paper with the state and become a millionaire. A job is not going to get you there. Contracts will. Having a good job matters. Benefits matters for family. But I don't want to mix the message in believing that because we're low income, we deserve less. We don't. That's where I want to see our reparations coming at. I came to play chess. I don't play checkers.
I heard that, my sister. Now, you were the executive director of Matt Boss, right?
No.
No?
I was not the executive director.
No?
I was an executive. I was the chief of admin services. I controlled the contracts, the personnel, the training, the investigations, all of the support services. I was not the executive director. I should have been.
Yeah. Okay.
I should have been.
Okay.
But I wasn't.
Okay, now that's where the administrative master's degree came in.
That's right.
Okay.
That degree controls my job as the executive chief of admin services. That was my title. I control operations.
Okay.
And so let's talk about that.
Yeah.
I heard what Malcolm and Martin said. Disagree or not. They said by any means necessary. When I got in that position, I flipped that agency from predominantly white to predominantly black. Who do you think gave me a hard time? I'll wait.
I don't know. Who?
Guess. Come on, Michael.
Black folk?
You got that right.
Hey.
Why was that?
That's the way we've been groomed. We don't know any better.
Who groomed us?
So we can't act any better.
But who groomed
And
us?
until we start teaching our people better,
Right.
they're not going to know.
Right. But we're groomed by the white supremacists of this world.
We're also groomed by our parents who don't know any better and don't teach us any better.
Who are groomed by the white supremacists of this world, you know?
You can't blame everything on white supremacy.
Yeah,
At some point, no, that's the beginning. That's the beginning and the end. But in the middle is us. When are we going to change? We're going to keep holding them accountable for our bad behavior?
Yeah.
White person didn't give them the job. The black person did.
I am. I'm going to hold them.
Well, you know what? And I respect that. You know, that's where we've always, come to our terms and parted ways and come back together again in the middle.
Right.
I do not. I refuse. I know what happened. I know who we are. I know where we come from. I know what we're made of. And I know that white supremacy exists. But we are young, gifted, and black at some point. Gifted. And we waste that. We waste it by pointing fingers. I'm not going to let them hold me up. When I got to McBoss, I took all the fire from all of the white supremacy, the racists, the bigots, all of them, to pull my people up. And until we understand that concept, yeah.
And you did do that, right?
I absolutely did. That's my legacy.
Okay.
I absolutely did. And I want people who are in a position to understand when you get the chance, I don't care how bad they act, pull them up. Pull them up.
Now, let me ask you this. Now, you did all that. McBoss stands for Mercer County Board of Social Services, right?
Absolutely.
All right. First time I heard that, I said, "Oh, wow, that's cool." But do you ever have people come up to you on the street and say, "Oh, thank you for what you did for me"? Sure, you do.
Absolutely.
So it worked.
Absolutely.
I mean.
Oh, I know it worked.
Oh, we difficult. You know we difficult. But
no,
your message got through to a lot of people.
It worked. And they didn't miss me until I was gone. That's usually the case. We don't know what we have until it's not there.
Right.
That's not what I'm saying. What I want you to understand and what I want the audience to understand tonight is I don't care how they act. Pull them up. Pull them up. They're going to attack you. We are going to attack you. You don't have to worry about them. You know who they are. My mama and daddy taught me how to deal with them. I know who they are. It was the people that I couldn't see that created the most chaos. And that was us. And listen, I don't care how anybody feels about it. It's my experience. I did it. I went through it. I understand it. And I will tell you again, if I went back to any agency, I still pull them up. I'd pull them up.
That's right.
I'd pull them up. Listen, because if we don't, it's not going to happen. And since I left, well, I got to hold off here. I'm going to have to back up because I'm in the middle of a lawsuit.
Okay.
So I'm going to have to switch gears.
Okay.
Okay. Ms. Lartigue,
I want to say.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I just want people to know I don't care how bad we act, pull us up.
Okay.
You get a chance to pull us up, pull us up. Don't let our bad behavior get in the way. We've been groomed to act that way.
Okay.
We've been groomed to fight you. It's not personal. It's history.
That's right.
Pull them up anyway. Pull them up anyway.
That's right.
How do you think the current administration of Trenton is doing?
I think the current administration of Trenton has had some tremendous challenges, that being the mayor.
Mm-hmm.
The mayor has had some tremendous challenges. And see, one of the reasons that people may find me difficult to deal with, I don't deal with personalities. I don't care about your personality. I can care less. I deal with principles. and the principles of what happened. We had a council president, for example. I grew up with this girl. I told you I'm from the neighborhood, Martin Luther King, right? I grew up, and we shall not mention names. I grew up with a former president of city council who had more power in her hands than anybody else on council in the state of New Jersey because she controlled the vote. What did she do with it? She could have built empires. She could have made millionaires. She could have directed policy, but instead she spent her time fighting. And that's the message for all of you. When I say pull them up, no matter what happens, pull them up. Stop fighting. Your fighting is getting in the way of the move. There's a movement going on here, y'all. We're trying to do some things different. This former president had more power than anybody on council in the state of New Jersey and blew it. Fighting. There should have been people hired. There should have been people getting contracts. There should have been housing built. There should have been policy made. When you control the vote, you control everything, baby. And that's what I'm telling you. If you don't vote, you're wasting your time and energy, and you're actually taking up air that you don't need.
Okay, boy, this has been a eye opener here. You know, been a good eye opener. It's been popping conversation. And if see our main engineer, our main producer isn't with us tonight, she would have cut us off a long time ago. And
okay, I get it. I get it.
You know,
I do.
We're gonna have to get out of here on that. But I tell you what, we will have you back. All right, because I am
always available for you.
I want to broaden this conversation to national and international scope. You know,
and that BRICS conversation.
Yeah, I think that's important. More important because of the community that you reach. We need to, respectfully delve more into local politics, because Trenton doesn't understand what the county owes them. They don't understand what the state owes them. They don't. Structural deficit. Keep that in mind for our next conversation.
Structural deficit.
Thanks for having me. And Coochie, we've had this conversation before.
Okay.
Mr. Lartigue, hopefully I'll run into you at Smokehouse 1911 again.
Hopefully you will. I'm living between 3 states, and I'm retired. And so hopefully you will. Okay. Tell your dad what I said as soon as you told me who you were.
She was telling me that she was looking forward to this conversation.
Because I would absolutely come on a podcast for your dad.
Because he is an old friend.
Hey,
that's right.
That's right.
I meant that then, and I mean it now.
That's very true. And let me tell you what, it's good to have or to know people who are serious. And that's what Annette has always been. She's always been serious about shit. I mean, about what's going on in this town and in our lives. No,
you said it right. It's the shift. I'm talking.
That's right.
And word on the curb.
There you go.
And that's your new podcast, right?
That's my new podcast, Word on the Curb. The shift I'm talking. It's about people, places, and things. And we are people casting. Okay. And it's different over there because, like here with you, you're included in the conversation.
Okay. When is your podcast? How people get to it?
I podcast on Wednesday nights.
Okay.
At 8 p.m. I'm going to move over. I'm also going to assume what you would call a stage name per my producer's direction. And we'll be popping up, and we'll be wherever podcasts are. You'll be able to see us on iTunes, Google, YouTube, Facebook, social media, TikTok. We're there.
Okay.
Sounds good, my sister. Thank you for having me with us. Thank you very much for being with us this evening.
Thanks for having me. I know we jumped all over the spot, all over the page, but I think people got the message. You better hold your elected officials accountable or get out my face.
I heard that, my sister.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for coming on the show. On the Case with Kamau Kujichagulia, Mrs. Annette Lartigue.
All right, sister. Take care, okay?
Thank you. Good night.
Right. Good night. Whoa! Whoa! I knew it. I knew she's gonna be hot. She's
right.
She's a wonderful person, man. A wonderful, serious person. I like serious people, because we are in a dire state, and we need serious work to be done with and for us, and that has always done that. So
I should have asked her about what jobs they got down there at the Mercer County Board of Social Services.
You still looking, huh, son?
Yeah, I'm still looking. I finally did the Foundations Academy application.
Temple was telling me that they had gotten somebody in the math science area.
Yeah, I applied for the special education.
Okay. Very good. Okay, do you know who we have next week?
I do not. I don't believe we have a guest next week. We're gonna have to work to get one.
Okay, so let's work to do that. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I want to thank everyone. I want to thank all of our listeners and watchers, and I want to thank Michael, and I want to thank Miss Lartigue especially. I want to thank Al, of course, and everybody. Did I say Sean?
You just did.
She ain't here right now tonight. She had, but I want to thank her. I appreciate every last one of y'all.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Al.
So
Dana.
See you all next week. Oh yeah, let me say hi to Dana. Hi, Dave. We got to get in touch with each. Hey, let's have Dana on next week. You want to be on next week, Dana?
Cazzo.
How's that? Hey, that's good. That's great. Because she'd be a great guest, because she's that sociology person, Yeah, we're gonna have Dana on next week. See what she's talking about. You know what I mean?
Have my cousin on next week.
She said, look what she said. She said, huh?
Have cousin on next week, and then the week after that, there's a couple people from Marcus Eady's gym, Nonstop Fitness, that have talked to me about coming on also.
Okay.
All right,
son. I'll see
all right,
you.
Pop.
I gotta find out where we go. We have to go down here, and then we go here. All right. Good night, everyone. See you next week. Very, very badly. Bye.
Are you searching for where you can find the latest news and breaking news today for U.S., world, weather, entertainment, politics, and health? Visit us at www.thenubiannews.com. The Nubian News, loving the Black perspective.
I like that video.
We're still